there's a lot of names out there still. And so I wanted to bring to your attention some possibilities because I think there's 3 that people have their eye on. First one would be, well, guys, if you're going to trade, well, Freddie Peralta, what's going on with him? Well, Zach, I'm glad I know that's what you were asking. But apparently Freddie Peralta, he's got some suitors. According to Underdog and Will Salmon and then Ken Rosenthal, Yankees, Mets, Dodgers, Braves, Red Sox. Don't see the Orioles on there. But Freddie Peralta, hypothetically, if he's available, he might be the best pitcher that's on the market. He's that good. But I don't know if that's going to be the move, Zach. I don't know. Maybe it's going to be Framber Valdez. Hey, come here. Framber Valdez, up until that grand slam against the Yankees, felt like he was going to be the connection. You're hearing a lot of reports about the Mets and the Orioles. But, guys, I got to be honest. It seems from the reports it's cooling down for Valdez, which is still kind of shocking because I think he's a great starting pitcher. I think he's really going to help a team.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's a Ranger, third option. Apparently, eyes are getting big, Zach, for one Ranger Suarez with the Baltimore Orioles. Brad, do you think it's worth us playing the Jim Bowden clip?
Yeah, because because it's ironic, and I'll explain this after we play it because I think that Jim Bowden might be listening to the show.
All right, well, let's play that clip real quickly. Jim Bowden on foul territory. Sorry. I have this echo going on, and it's throwing me off. Jim Bowden was on foul territory, and he talked about the Ranger Suarez, Baltimore Orioles. That's not a rumor. That seems like there's some serious strong interest. So let's play that clip.
It depends if they're done with their pitching, which they can't be. That's the biggest question. It will continue to be the big question. If I'm them, I'm getting Framber Valdez and Ranger Suarez. Now, they're not going to do both, but I think they are going to do one. It doesn't sound like it's Valdez from my sources. It sounds like it's Ranger Suarez, and it sounds like they have been very aggressive and are strongly in. They haven't been able to close the deal, but they kind of feel like they have a chance. We'll have to wait and see. But that's going to be the question about how far Baltimore goes. It's not going to be about the lineup, the offense or the defense. It's going to be how far can the pitching come. And also, what can they do at the back end? Look, I like the Helsley and Kittredge signings, but why was Helsley's fastball hit so hard last year? Was that release point? Was that arm angle that needs to be adjusted? We know it's a wipeout breaking ball. We get that. But he's going to have to figure out that fastball so it's not so hittable. Can Helsley come back and be the impact closer he was in St. Louis? He didn't look good with New York. Was that a New York thing? Was that a mechanical thing? I don't know. But pitching is going to determine what Baltimore can do. Look, right now I still probably have them in fourth place in the AL East. But if the pitching comes through, if Rogers is the real deal, if Kramer comes back, Bradish comes back, you sign Ranger Suarez, then can I see this team in the postseason in October? Yeah, they got a chance.
Now, where have I heard that before? What an original idea.
Are my eyes getting big?
They are.
So listen, Ranger Suarez would be an unbelievable fit. And if we're looking at this entire situation, look, there's no guarantee he's going to make it here. You're hearing there's a lot of other teams that want him. And I do think it's fascinating that the interest seems to be higher for Ranger over Framber. So everyone's saying the velo's down. I don't think that people are buying that the velo is going to drop and he's going to fall off the table. Clearly, that's not the case.
No.
The thing for me with this is the years. How many years can Ranger get? That, I think, is what the biggest holdup is. I think the price point's going to be between 25 to 30 mil, given what the market looks like. And I'm hearing what Jim Bowden's saying. But, guys, Yes, I agree. You need one more starting pitcher. I think Tyler Wells is going to the pen just the way it is because of the way your team's getting constructed and how do you get the most out of Tyler Wells? You move him to the pen. I think he can be a really good pen piece.
Oh, yeah.
But you add Ranger, and then Zach Eflin becomes your sixth because I think Dean Kramer is going to be the 5. I think Zach Eflin's got to get right. But you have that group right there. That rotation for the Orioles looks pretty damn well. And the reason why I say I think that option is more plausible is that the Orioles would have to make a big trade and then make a big signing. Because if they get Peralta, you're going to have to give whatever you're going to give Suarez, plus give up a ton of talent.
Why do you think these guys haven't signed yet? Like, why? What do you think's the hang up for Ranger Suarez? Is it really the time portion of it, or what is it?
Yeah,
Because,
it's years and how much they can maximize.
And
now,
my follow-up question to that is, like, if this is a thing, right? Like where velocity has come down some, as Scott Boras or even a Ranger Suarez looks at this and it's like, I don't see how anybody in their right mind is going to sign him to a 5-year deal, just given that fact by itself.
Well, you know who did this, Zach? You know who caused this dilemma?
The Blue Jays.
Yeah.
Not Boris, Blue Jays.
Yeah.
The C deal. 7 years.
Yeah.
$30 million per year. And that's the biggest holdup here, in my opinion. Pitchers want stability. They want the biggest deal because you know what? Tomorrow they can blow out their arm and they're done. And you want to use the best example recently, Jordan Montgomery, who then was fired by Scott Boras because they gambled. Jordan Montgomery didn't get the deal that he wanted, ended up signing essentially a 1-year deal, and then gets hurt. And then his value has completely deteriorated. And Jordan Montgomery could get back, but that big payout came in what? At least for that.
Yep.
Blake Snell almost got screwed out of that, coming off a Cy Young year. So that's what they want, to your question. But Blake Snell, if I'm not mistaken, was Blake 5 or 6 years, 150, 180?
Something like that, yeah.
Does that sound about right, Zach?
Yeah.
So that was the big deal. And Blake Snell, in my opinion, his stuff, when he's healthy, there is a lot of elite pitchers, even like Ranger Suarez, but then there's Blake Snell and that other category of the Scoobles. I got Snell in that Scooble realm. He's closer to Scooble than what Ranger is to Blake Snell.
Yeah.
So in this case, Brad, that's where it all stems back to. And teams are saying, I don't want to give those years because I know why you want it, but are you going to pitch for me for 5-7 years?
No.
I have doubts.
Yeah.
But if you sign Ranger to a 4-year 120, would you do it? I mean, Zach, like, I think that this is the holdup. Like, that's what it is. It's the years. I don't think it's a dollar amount. I 100% think it's the years.
It's 1,000% is the years. And I got to say, and Ryan, you can tell me if I'm completely off base on this. I just don't see for a guy like Ranger why the velo drop from 92 to 90.5 is a big deal. Like I talked about this actually for like 20 minutes on the show Friday. If you wanted to tell me Ranger Suarez was a guy who threw 99 to touched 100, and now he's sitting at 96, I'm concerned because it's, hey, you don't got the stuff to blow it by him anymore. You got to have your secondary stuff work. You got to find a way to get outs without the velo. This is a guy who hasn't had the velo. He's never had, I think he's like the highest he ever was when you look at, percentiles in baseball. He was in the 34th percentile at his peak for average fastball velocity. He's a guy who's always known how to pitch. And that's how he's gotten outs. That's how he's been successful. He not once was ever a guy that sat there and was throwing 98. He didn't beat you with velo. So for me, it's less of a concern if he's still throwing 90, hitting 91. He was never a guy throwing 99. Now, if he was touching 99 and now you're like, oh, he can only hit 95, it's a big red flag. Then it's, hey, your stuff. That's different. He was never a guy who needed velo to get guys out. So a slight drop in velo for me, I'm still in on Ranger Suarez. I know some people are like, oh, down the line, I don't think he can. If in 4 years he's throwing 89, but he's still getting outs, he knows how to pitch. And also throw Garrett Crochet out the window. There aren't a lot of, high velo lefties out there. That's just not, that is a hot commodity. That is value if you can find one. A lot of these guys just know how to pitch.
Yeah. Zach, can I tell you something?
Yeah, tell me something.
About this whole thing. So, yes, Ranger Suarez's velo has dropped a little bit. But if you want to go back to 2024, not this past year, the year prior, his average sinker was 90.8. Mm-hmm. But his four-seamer was 91.9, almost 92. And in 2025, sinker's 90.1, four-seams 91.3, so half a difference. Mm-hmm. Both those years, Ranger Suarez went 12-8. 3.46 ERA in 2024. He had a better ERA last year with a quote-unquote slower fastball. He's pitched over 150 innings in the last 2 seasons. And the bigger thing for the Baltimore Orioles, he's been a big game pitcher. And I saw some comments in here about, well, why won't the Phillies bring him back? The Phillies, it's priorities of what you need.
Yeah.
The Phillies have to figure out what they want to do with some of their other roster construction. Are they going to get another bat? They also already have really good pitchers on their staff. So, yes, they would like to bring him back, but that's not their priority. Teams like Baltimore and some of these other ones that want Ranger Suarez's services, it is. That's what it comes down to. You prioritize. Just like for the Yankees. Yankees haven't made any big move yet. Why? They know they need to try to get Cody Bellinger or Kyle Tucker. I think it's Bellinger. I think it makes all the sense in the world. Yeah. Or maybe you got to go get Bo Bichette, which they're linking. But the Yankees are prioritizing. They haven't made the move yet, but they're prioritizing. Every team does it. So for the Orioles case, it's no secret. Your lineup for what you have is pretty filled out as far as your depth. You're going to roll with the guys. Pitching, it's not. And you can't get burned again. You learned that last year. You have enough pitching to help get you through. You can be in a lot of games because the Orioles, despite their flaws offensively, when their pitching was better for the last 3-4 months, their record was significantly better. I mean, Zach, I don't have the record off the top of my head, but the Orioles, they did have a winning record for like the last X amount of stretch. They got a little bit rough, but the pitching led by Trevor Rogers, and then Kyle Bradish came back, and that looked pretty good. Dean Kramer had some moments, but then Dean had some first inning moments and others. But, sugar. That's what I got to say about that. And I wouldn't be surprised. I'll say this. 20 to 25 mil for Ranger might even get it done. Mm-hmm. I think 30 sets it over the edge, and I think that's the years. But if it's less years, he wants more money. So I think that's the dilemma here. But I think a 20 to 25, that could be Ranger Suarez's sweet spot too.
You give him 4 years, 95 to 100 million. I mean, I think that's fair.
I think 4,100 or 4,120, somewhere in that range, gets the deal done. Now, if it's 5 at 25, yes, that also gets the deal done. So time will tell, but it's the years. But make no mistake, eyes are staying open for that one. Mm-hmm. Could not happen. But there is reason to believe that the Orioles are strong candidates to bring in Ranger Suarez.
Yeah, and real fast, and this is a little bit of a different conversation, but I've been seeing a lot of comments on it. I don't know if you guys saw, but MLB Network did their predictions for the season. They released something, and people were upset that Albornoz was projected as AL manager of the year. And they're like, this is way too soon to crown him. I think he is got to be the front runner. Just because if you think based off of what kind of the award is, Orioles 76 wins last year. If they get into the playoffs at all, he's a first-year manager. They love to do the young manager kind of taking over, the new hot name on the street. I don't think it is ridiculous at all if the Orioles make the playoffs at Albornoz. We talk about all these guys
I don't think so
coming
either.
in player aspect. I think the new manager as well, and I just think there's so much juice in Baltimore right now and so much hype that why wouldn't a guy like Ranger Suarez want to join that? Why, hey, Pete Alonso said after talking to Mike and talking to Albie, they were like, hey, this is the spot I want to be. Like, they got something here. I just think there's an energy around the Orioles that I think guys are going to come here, and I think they're going to be put in positions to succeed. And, usually we always say, like, you got to convince someone to come here to Baltimore. I think over the past 3-4 months, I think that's gotten easier. And now the wallet doesn't hurt. Offering Pete Alonso 5 years, 155, that's going to obviously – that talks. So I just think there's a lot of juice around Baltimore right now.
Money talks, but a belief that things are changing is going to attract more and more. So the reason why you look at teams, either one, you got to absolutely just get the dream deal, and you're sitting there going, hey, I want the money. But a lot of other guys, they're looking for the entire package. And there's always been questions for Baltimore. Could you get the entire package there? And it's not that the city and the organization, the fan base, it's nothing to do with that. But it's more being sold on the vision for where the team's going to go if you're looking to compete. And for a while, there wasn't that vision. When guys came to Baltimore during the rebuild, it was for them to get a jump start, to get traded and go somewhere else. Now, the Orioles are ready. And now guys are going to have to make the decision, well, why is this Orioles team different than the past? Is it just a flash in the pan? Or is this team going to ascend? And when you sign a big name, you trade for another guy, two guys, and now you're looking to sign another person, the time will pass, those players will move on. But these younger players and everyone around the league, they're taking notice of what's going to happen here. And yeah, if Albie and the O's win the AL East next year, yeah, you can Sharpie in that Craig Albornoz is going to be your manager of the year.
Oh yeah.
Book it.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
If you are new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show, live on YouTube, X, and Facebook. And when I move, you move, Zach.
Just like that.